Oldham Club, 174 John Street South at Augusta. This week's guests, the Brown Notes and Dave Rave. Our host makes a bet every day. He might walk around lucky, never know it. Here is Framus.
This is the first week I haven't had to start my own applause. Thanks, everybody. Here we are.
Another week.
Center of the musical universe.
You know it. We got an election coming up. And while these guys are trying to divide the country, we are here bringing the country together.
We're here to unite.
Music is a universal language, and you're speaking it in spades.
Yes, Canadian spades. All Canadian, all the time.
Another good note I found out this week. Kingston will be having an all-Canadian music festival the weekend before Canada Day.
Nice.
Great news.
Just north of Kingston, Frontenac County, and the lineup still to be confirmed. Some great names that I noticed. Names I cannot recall at this point. However, it's another Canadian festival.
That's fantastic.
And, you know, it's much like It's Your Festival in Hamilton, the Gage Park.
Yes.
It's all Canadian for Canada Day. But we are here at the end of March already.
Wow. It's still freezing like a mother effer out there.
No kidding. Grass balls and monkey balls.
A lot of balls.
A lot of balls. They're frozen, man. They're frozen. We got a great thing. We might as well bring up the man because we got a lot of people here waiting.
The man?
The ultimate. The man
the
himself.
Here he is. The other guy?
The man of the hour.
Our big
dad
toe.
of the year.
Our big toe.
Husband in good standing so far. Resident dish pig server and potato slicer. The Grand Poobah.
And Mater D.
Owner of the Cat and Fiddle Hamilton. Please welcome Mr. Alex Patry.
Our big toe. We love him. We love this guy.
Well, welcome to the Cat Fiddle, everybody.
Thanks, Alex.
It's been an exciting couple months for us. Everything's building up really well.
Yep.
So just some stuff. You know, we try to put on good shows, and they've been going well. And I gotta thank the musicians that show up to support other musicians. They hang out, have a couple of drinks. Dave Rave's one of them, right? Yeah. He'll show up out of the blue, right?
Yep.
And we got Clyde over the corner from the Sodbusters, right? He stops in, right? So those guys take kind of a beating all the time, trying to get around, get things done. So we do appreciate you guys, and so I just want people to know our crew here. Second and none, man. You know, we got Gary, famous. You know, he's so kind of. Yeah. Yeah. Next Friday we're doing a special me and close on ED, erectile dysfunction, right?
I heard that you already found a sponsor or something.
Now we're going to do a comedy show.
What was it? Snap-on.
Snap-on tables and Mr. Softly Ice Cream.
Snap-on? No, we got good lineups coming up, right? Which is part. We got Paul Coombs tonight. Who's tomorrow? Shyster. Well, Shyster's an East End band. It's actually a friend of mine's daughter-in-law. She's got an awesome voice. People got to get out to see Shyster more often. They mostly play in the East End of Hamilton, where they're from. And
they're all lawyers.
Yeah. And then, of course, our Celtic band on our group on Sundays is they come in every second Sunday. It's free, right?
It's free, yes.
Oh, awesome people. And over the last while, we did acquire another bar in the East End of Hamilton. So we're going to be bringing more bands to the East End too, along with downtown, right? So keep your eyes out. It's called Iron Horse. We're changing it back to the Come By Chance. And it's been around since 1980.
Oh, yeah.
So,
the old CBC.
Yeah,
Melvin Avenue.
Yeah, so
East End love.
I've been over everything over there to make sure it's building its way back up to what it once was. So if you are in the East End, stop in. And so anyway, that's enough from us right now. Of course, it's Fish Friday. Our chef is cooking up all kinds of good stuff, right? The guy's awesome. All day breakfast.
All day breakfast.
Yeah. You got to check it out. We are promoting breakfasts on Saturday and Sunday mornings, right? So, but it's all day then too. So you don't have to get up. I'm here at 6 o'clock every day.
Good for musicians.
Yeah. That are just going home. So we appreciate everybody being here. Thank you. And to the Canuck-Toon gang, I love you guys.
We love you too, boss.
Cheers.
Okay, so everybody. How exciting.
Thank you everyone for being here today. We got a great crowd. And for everyone listening online at canucktoons.ca, great 3 hours. Of course, Ian Wallace and Broncos coming up later. But first, Framus, big one.
Thanks. Wow. Sitting across from the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Dave Rave. What a pleasure, Dave. Thanks for joining us today.
Wow, great to be here. Great to be here. I'm honored to be on the show, and we had we spent some time with the Shakers here last year.
The Shakers?
That I want to do it again.
That's great.
This time without those other guys crowding me.
Yeah. You're cramping your style, man.
Rick Andrew, what a crowd hog.
Be careful, you're being monitored by one of your Shakers.
Well, he never crowds me. He's good. He's a drummer. He's a drummer.
Bob's always happy.
Yeah,
he doesn't care what's going on. Happy drummers.
Yeah.
Dave, you want to start us off with a tune, and then we'll get into it.
All right.
There's a lot of people here to see you, see and hear you today, Dave.
Yeah, I'd like to start a song from an album when I first went from Teenage Head. I went from the Shakers to Teenage Head to an album that came out only in Russia, which is I influenced the whole world of this record. And I wanted to do a song that's called Patty Rock, and it was on the album I did called Valentine.
Patty Rock.
Everybody wants to go downtown. I can't take it, I can't hang around. Girls like me want to talk all night. Lights go out and we begin to fight. Yeah, I remember every night, every minute of the day. I can call you up, and what's something you would say. Now I hear your voice on the radio when Patty Rock, the devil start to roll. No one special is inside this room. Now I just gotta go and leave these rooms. Sounds of horns and motors in the spring. She's inside me, she don't feel a thing. And I remember every night, every minute of the day, I could call you up. There was something you would say. Now I hear your voice on the radio when Patty Rock, the tables start to roll. All these people in their flashery, they wanna tell me that God it me. That girl's everything, she knows my name. She says I'm part of someone's dying fame. I remember every night, every minute of the day, I can call you up. There was something you would say. Now I hear your voice on the radio when Patty Rock, the cameras start to roll. I remember every night, every minute of the day, I can call you up. He gets the velvet waves. Now I hear the radio when Patty Rock began to start to roll. When Patty Rock, when Patty Rock, when Patty Rock, when Patty Rock.
Yeah, you jumped ahead. Jumped ahead on me there.
I'm always jumping ahead.
That's actually an interesting story about how you were signed to Melodia.
Yeah. Records in
Just when kind of perestroika was happening with the early '90s. I remember hearing about it here. But how
did it happen?
Yeah, and you were
I don't
like
want
the
this
first
sometimes.
Western artist to be signed by a Russian record label, right?
Yeah, I was, and it was crazy. It was I just moved to New York, and I'd done a bunch of songs I recorded at Old Grand Avenue, and we used to play this club called the Sun Mountain Cafe. It was my first place to play in New York City, now in my new hometown, right? And I'm playing, I do Patty Rock and all these new songs I've written, and all of a sudden, this fella named Rudolph comes up to me in a Russian accent, and I try to imitate it. Hello. My name is Rudolph. I go, I'm Dave. You play folk rock. Folk rock. That hadn't been said in years. You're in a punk era, late 80s. Last thing I would have heard, he goes, I like it. Would you like to put a record out on Melodia? I come from Russia. I thought, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
But no, he was right. He goes, he gave us his chord. We went to 14th Street, me and my friend Gary Pickle. We went to the Russian shop. And he's in there, and he goes, we brought some music. He goes, I like. Before he even listened to it, he knew from hearing it live that he could. So, okay, we go back a month later. He gave us his contract, and we had it all looked at by our lawyer like you're supposed to do. Anyhow, this guy in this dark room, in which you expect in Russia, right? Dark room, with a little light looking down on it, but it was in New York. He looks at it, and the guy looked a bit like Stalin. And he goes, okay. And he gets it. Everything's good, the contract's good. He doesn't understand English. So the reality was suddenly now we had a Russian contract, and now we had it. He says, you got to come over and play. So we thought, how did that happen? It was 1989. It took us 2 years, of course. We had originally were calling ourselves Dave Rave Conspiracy, you know, and the album came back with the name Dave Rave Group.
They didn't like Conspiracy on there.
Yeah, we went, what happened to Conspiracy? You're now called Group. Okay, I guess we're now called Group, you know. Probably a young Putin, probably.
First he was a record center
Yeah.
before he worked his way up.
Yeah, exactly. So we went over there, and just to find a little fun little story about playing in Russia. I always felt that our life was in danger, but not really. Like, in a sense, I always felt that you could disappear and nobody would ever find you. You know, no cell phones at the time, none of that stuff. You couldn't use your credit card. There was no evidence that you were there. And so we went to Melodia Records finally after playing. And the thing about, you gotta remember about Russia too, is that, you know how we have social media now? They didn't even have, you couldn't get the phone number of other people. They didn't like assembly. So only
No
people,
phone books in Russia.
no, only people in the Communist Party get to talk to each other. Everybody else. So when I said we're going to go to, well, at that time Ukraine was part of Russia. When we go to Ukraine, should we give them a call? Why? Why? We're going to go there. The Melodia office there. So They didn't care. So you just went, it was starting over. I don't have phone number. So we just, everything we had, so that's what I mean, you didn't know what was gonna happen. When you wanted to exchange money, you had to exchange it in a corner, like some alley, or some guy with a dark alley to get the money. But here we are, so now we're at Melodia Records. We meet the guy, the president, he looks like Vladimir Lenin. And Lenin, who's Vladimir Lenin? Who's got Vladimir Lenin? Lenin, he looks like him, and we talk, he's happy. Anytime you want to come make a record, do it, anytime. Oh, that's nice, thank you. As we're leaving, our guy who was our translator had two people in the office, and he goes, we'll go for a, we could drive these guys to Midtown Hospital. Sure, why not? I said, so why were they here? Are they on the label? Oh no, they're here to buy cheese. So, cheese? Oh yeah, Melodia sells cheese too. Very good cheese. So I bought some, and it was awesome. Really awesome. We got paid in cheese.
Records?
Yeah, we got paid in cheese. And I would say one of the best deals we ever made. So anyhow, that's my Russia story, and not your best moments are, amazing.
Did you play shows there? Like,
Yeah.
A little tour for you there?
Yeah. Here's the thing, our song, the video that we were doing for, I'll play the song, I guess, was Way of the World. And they had a group. Rudolph said, I have a band to play with you called KKK Kids. Concentration Camp Kids. Sounds good. So when they came, they were sort of like a Metallica kind of band. Russia, they loved that style of music. Right, that kind of, but they were melodic, they were punk, like hardcore punk. So he said, can you write a song to them and they'll record it from you? Okay, sure. So
they're asking you if you could write a punk
Well,
song?
that's what the label wanted. Yeah, so we had a song called Is It Too Late Right Now or Is It Just Too Early? Which I thought was sort of the story of Russia right now. And they recorded it, and it sounded amazing. It sounded like actually Nirvana before Nirvana.
Wow.
It was 1990, like we're 1989.
Just before
that
the
kind of, Pretty cool, eh?
Yeah.
But here's the most beautiful part of the story. When they first heard us, they thought we were doing country western. They knew nothing about new wave or any of that kind of music. So I'm going, they're like, what's that? They're like, how's this gonna work? But anyhow, somehow it did, because you have to make it work. It all was down the Led Zeppelin's down. I played that lick to them. They, we understand now. It was that Zeppelin was the connecting line.
The bridge.
The bridge.
Zeppelin was the bridge.
The great thing though was that they were the most amazing guys. We had so much fun. We were shooting the video. Unfortunately, part of the video that they were in the film got spoiled. We couldn't use them. They all had their mohawks, and they were just great guys. And they actually walked to the airport with bottles of vodka. They didn't have cars, right? Nobody could afford that. They were bottles of vodka. They walked basically from here, like Toronto, with bottles to say goodbye to us.
Nice.
And I thought that was I still to this moment get choked up when I think about how grateful they were.
That's a beautiful gesture.
Yeah. And we were sitting in an empty airport because nobody's allowed to leave. At that point, I don't really leave now. So we had nobody goes to the empty airport, and we're basically singing songs, and they got into what I did, and I got into what they did. It's just, these are
your ambassador.
The reason why you go on the road is you hope an adventure will happen that will teach you something, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time it's not really for money. You hope it is, but the reality is that's the side part. What happens in that general area is the adventure of life that puts that print in your head.
That's a beautiful sentiment.
Yeah, I mean, like going to Chilton, right? It's very similar. That was a journey. Fighting in the middle of the bar. I mean, so it's similar.
You gave me great advice one time about touring. You said if they're going to ask you if you know if you're a cover band, if you know covers, just say yes and go there anyway. Play your own songs.
Me and Rick used to always do in the country bars. They go, hey, do you know anything by Kiss? And we go, this is going to be on the next record. And we play one of our songs. And then they go, all right, that's great.
How about Steve Miller Band?
Yeah, it's going to be on the next record. We did that for years because we didn't know half the songs that they were doing. We were limited in talent, you know, like with that kind of, like all, you know, we didn't have those. To do a Jimmy Page song that time, it took about a week to figure out. You know, it was a lot of chords.
Well, that's why punk came about, because it democratized musical ability, right? We can all pick up on a guitar.
Yeah, lack of talent. I had time to learn all those chords.
Exactly.
Let the musicians do that. I'll write a song instead.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it was a great experience. So that was Russia in a nutshell. The record came out. It was came out over there. Now, and there's a guy, it's crazy. All he does is buy Valentino Pirates from Russian. He looks online.
Vinyl is vinyl.
Yeah, he buys them. He's got like 40 copies. He buys them from different parts.
Who's that? You got a collector?
This guy, I don't know him, but he said, yeah, I bought the 40 of your record. And then it came out again in Spain, about 5 or 6 years ago. So it's out in Spain, and it did come out in Canada with Jamie at Bullseye.
Oh, okay.
He put it out around 9/11, around that time.
On vinyl or on CD?
CD.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It got on the Spanish one came out CD and vinyl, and he did a great job too.
Nice.
So it's one of those records that keeps coming back every 10 years. Somebody says, want to put it out? I go, okay, sure, why not? You know?
And do you get a check full of rubles anytime you show up? Somebody's put the record out again.
Yeah, fantastic though, man. But you know, so when you watch what's going on now in the world, and you sort of understand the mentality of the way the Russians think, and it helps me because I know that the place is it's an amazing place. It's old and and they have a love of music, unbelievable. Like I remember we would be sitting around and they would sing a song like some old general's house we were staying at. 14 verses later, why do you want to sing a song? And we go, okay. Puff, no, I need you a verse. And you feel embarrassed because they know they can sing like 30 verse songs of great Russian folklore. And you know, you say yes, hello, and you're trying to find a song. You can remember all the through, you know, it's amazing place.
So they're curious, artful people, not necessarily represented by their government.
Well,
they're people that is just like us.
Well, it's a place that's been around and they got their own deal.
Yeah.
And they live in their world that, you know, that's, they were never allowed outside. So all they get is what they know, right?
Yeah.
They eventually started coming here playing hockey, and they did a pretty good job, and they're still playing hockey, right? Isn't that guy right now going to beat Rex?
Pretty soon, yeah. Pretty soon. Ovechkin, yeah.
Yeah, amazing place.
Cool, man. Well, how about hitting us with one of the songs?
Okay, well, I'll do the one I'll do the one that everybody should do. It's not.
Do whatever you want, man. You're Dave Rave.
I guess I can. It's gonna be on your next album. Or do some different one.
It's gonna be on your next album.
Oh, the next album. Okay, I'll play that one then. All right, okay. This one is going to be on the next album. I really is.
Yeah, right.
And I want to play it. It should be on. It should have been on Valentino's, but it wasn't written yet. So I call it "Hold Your Breath."
Hold your breath. Big Rave, everybody.
Now in the part we can all sing along. It goes, "Hold your breath," and that I'll cue you, okay?
Hold our breath.
Living in an addicted state, and the road for my escape, and the road is my landscape. I want to live in my dreamscape. settle at night. With the weak or the might, waiting at the edge of life. Hold your breath for your compliment. Hold your breath for the continent. Change is coming, it's imminent. Hold your breath for the government. Is this really the good time? Right or wrong, we'll never die. Sky blue and it's sunny outside. We'll become sublime. Hold your breath for the government. Hold your breath for the imminent. Change is coming, it's imminent. Hold your breath for the government. Hey! Rapping at the moon, insomnia can be so cool. Perhaps you opened up the dam, and I cannot control the span. Hold your breath for the compliment. Hold your breath for the government. Change is coming, it's imminent. Hold your breath and your compliment. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Hold your breath as the sun will set. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Start breathing, everybody. Start breathing. Well, that song makes me want to march off and do something, Dave. I don't know what the hell I want to do, but I want to do something.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? I saw the words from my good friend. I was thinking about stuff, and my friend Sophia always writes words all the time. And I saw some of the words that she was writing. I went, I'd love to turn that into a song.
Yeah.
Okay. And she said, yeah. So I took some of them and then made it into a little musical thing.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It's a foot stomper and a heart pumper.
Yeah, well,
for sure.
you know, it's like you said, it's going to be on the next record. So
Next record.
I did the old Timmons thing, right?
Next record.
Now, where did my pick go?
Oh, yeah.
I got excited and the pick
Got
was
excited and the pick was the first thing to
mine. All
go.
right. Thank you, by the way, everybody for coming out and supporting this amazing connections. These guys make it.
It's all about the guests, Dave.
It's such a
all about the
good
guests.
thing to do, you know. I remember back in 1975, I called up Chum FM. I really wanted to hear a song. I can't remember who it was, and I never thought of it as a Canadian song. It's a really good song. And I called up Chum FM. I think it was a Crowbar song, just a great song. The guy said, "Well, we don't play Canadian music at this time of day." Like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I said, well, if I was in Memphis and I called up for an Elvis Presley song, would they say, don't play American music at this time of day? I just thought it was insane. You know, like that they would even segregate it that way. I thought, well, our own